This is Father Andrew Ritchie, and you're listening to Catholic Inspiration, a podcast from my website at studyprayserve.com. These homilies, presentations, and retreats form part of my ministry as a Catholic priest for the Diocese of Superior. And now I invite you to open your hearts to some Catholic inspiration. Today is the feast of Saint Mary Magdalene, and our gospel reading is taken from John chapter 20. It's verses 1 to 2 and 11 to 18. On the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb early in the morning while it was still dark and saw the stone removed from the tomb. So she ran and went to Simon Peter and to the other disciple whom Jesus loved and told them, "They've taken the Lord from the tomb and we don't know where they put him." Mary stayed outside the tomb weeping. And as she wept, she bent over into the tomb and saw two angels in white sitting there, one at the head and one at the feet where the body of Jesus had been. And they said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They've taken my Lord, and I don't know where they laid him." When she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus there, but did not know it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" She thought it was the gardener, and said to him, "Sir, if you carried him away, tell me where you laid him. I will take care of him." And Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. And Jesus said to her, "Stop holding on to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go to my brothers and tell them, I am going to my Father and to your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord," and then reported what he told her. So on this feast of Mary Magdalene, this reading, often tied into the Easter season, gives us a beautiful insight into the transformative effect that this relationship that Jesus had with Mary Magdalene, how his friendship, how his witness changed her life, utterly changed the course of her life. Mary Magdalene's background and history comes to us in a variety of ways. Many people would speculate that from the scriptures and from many of the early church fathers, she had been possessed by demons, possibly had been a prostitute, had been bereft of family or friends and had to sell her body in order to make a living. That she was clearly someone who had had a conversion and found in the person of Jesus a level of respect, a level of dignity, compassion. And so you have here this real sense of a friendship. She is agonizing over his death. Her grief is real because her friend and her Savior, he died. You get that immediate sense. She's weeping at the tomb. She's running when the tomb is empty. She says, "I don't know where they put him." You have this impassioned sense that Mary's wearing her heart on her sleeve. She cares about Christ. And I love the fact that she doesn't understand what is going on until it's Jesus who takes the initiative and calls her by name. It's when he finally looks her in the eye and says her name that in that moment she understands she's with the risen Lord. Her life is completely changed. That everything that Jesus did for her in his earthly ministry is now on a whole new level. For he is the Son of God, raised from the dead. He's the Lord. And in that moment, we understand, even Jesus saying, because she's like clinging to his feet. She's so overjoyed. She's so caught up in the moment that he's alive. And he focuses all that energy. "I've got work for you. Go to my brothers. Tell them. Tell them." And Mary goes and announces, "I have seen the Lord." So get this, friends. We know that there's an existing connection, a relationship, a friendship between Mary and Jesus. We know from her grief, from the way in which she cares so much, through her tears, through her running, through her sense that she's got this urgency to tell the disciples, and then she's going to stay at that tomb. And when she encounters the risen Lord, the sun has now just broken out through the clouds after a terrible thunderstorm, and she is basking in joy. But Jesus doesn't keep her there. The relationship that was built in his earthly ministry is now transformed through his resurrection. Go be my apostle to the apostles. I am sending you to tell the brothers that I'm alive. And friends, that's our takeaway today. Mary was not a perfect person, but guess what? None of us are. And Jesus met her in her imperfections and transformed her into a deep and profound woman of faith. God can do that for us. And just like Mary was called by name, Mary who responds as Jesus calls her name, the Lord's calling our name, friends. May we respond with the same intensity, the same fervor, the same desire to be with Christ. But understand then that out of that desire, we've got work to do. The Lord is going to keep us occupied. That's not a bad thing. Rather, it's meant to remind us that in the midst of our endeavors, in great and small ways, we can share with people how our love for Jesus changes our life, blesses our life, strengthens our life. That as we have seen the Lord working in our lives, we will share our witness with the people God sets before us. Mary Magdalene's a great example. Jesus met her where she was and led her into a whole new level of insight, love, faith, and hope. And that's true for us. And so, calling to mind her example, may we turn to Jesus. And when he calls us by name, follow him with all our hearts. That we too, having seen the risen Lord, will live and serve Jesus Christ. God bless you all. This is Father Andrew Ritchie, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Catholic Inspiration. These homilies, podcasts, presentations, and retreats are part of my ministry. And folks, if you found it helpful, please feel free to share my podcast with someone you know and love in the hopes that it will help them in their journey of faith. And you can help me if you just go back to your podcast engine and write me a rating and a review. I keep all my listeners in my daily prayers, and I ask that you remember me in yours as well. God bless you, my friends.